Afternoon. Good evening if you're those of you who are tuning in from Europe. Good afternoon for the rest of you. Good to see you guys. Happy Friday, or as my daughter likes to call it, Fry-yay. All right, guys. You made it. Day 5. Here we are. Celebrate yourself for showing up, being accountable, doing the things. How you guys feeling? Good? How great was yesterday? Oh my gosh, how great was hearing from Amy. She's such a light. She'll be here shortly. She's wrapping up, I think, a dress rehearsal for something. So she messaged me to say she'll be a little late, but she'll be here just to support you guys in the chat. And okay, so who played with their energy exploration cards last night? Tell me, how was it in the chat? What'd you notice? I'm curious which ones you picked. If you played with your cards, tell me what was the card that you got when you picked one. And was it like perfect? I find that all the time whenever I play with the energy exploration cards. I think I know what I need, and then I pick a card and it's like, oh yeah, universe knows what I need. Crystal, courage over comfort. Yeah, that's a good one. Ooh, Nunzio, I take ownership over my life and action over my dreams. Such a good one. So you guys can use these cards. If you have an audition, if even just in your practice, like if tomorrow you're going to go practice, pull a card. Be like, how would it feel to practice with this? Or how would it feel to go to the audition with this idea? So continue to use them. Again, don't leave it in the room. These things are not just for here, okay? Okay, here's a question. Who has done all 5 days of their meditation? Celebrate yourself. Put yourself in the chat. I want to know because I want you to claim that and celebrate that win. That's a huge win. Doing your meditation every single day. Yes, celebrating Ninzio. Awesome. Celebrating Jesper. Yes, so good. All right, Sharon, not all 5, but doing it. Listen, it's progress, not perfection, right, Sharon? Anne Marie, awesome. All right, celebrating you guys. So good. Just keep doing it daily, guys. Just when you think that it's not shifting anything for you, it's the conditioning that matters. It's the repetition. It's showing up to it daily that matters. So we have a lot to get to today. So just a reminder, a couple housekeeping things. We're going to train first, then we have a special guest, and then we're going to answer some questions. A reminder, again, this is the safe space. So encouraging bravery and vulnerability. So zero tolerance for any kind of meanness or judgment or criticism in the chat, okay? If you want to get up and coach, make sure that your original sound is switched to on. And we will be announcing our scholarship at the end of the meeting. And I will be doing a lot of that likely. My daughter, who is in 5th grade, it's like the 5th grade petri dish of germs, and she brings home everything, and then I end up picking it up. So I'm a little, if I'm coughing today, I might have to mute for a second and take a sip of water, but you know what? Life is in session. So this is the last scheduled day of our workshop, but I am offering 2 bonus days this weekend to be able to get to more of your questions in the spirit of over-delivering. Tomorrow from 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern is Q&A, Ask Me Anything. And we're going to be putting a post this afternoon into the Facebook group so you can let me know and submit your questions, and I will answer all of your questions. And if you're there live and you want some clarity, or you want to coach on something, or you want me to look and see if what you're doing is right, that's the time. Okay, so we're going to do tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, bonus day, Ask Me Anything. And then I also decided I want to do another bonus day on Sunday, because I've been watching you guys in the chat. A lot of you have been emailing me. I've had a bunch of discovery calls with you guys. And in the spirit of helping you to make decisions that are right for you when it comes to the auditions you go to, the things that you invest in, whether it's training, whether it's whatever it is, where you're putting your time and your energy so that you get the most out of what you're doing. I want to do one more bonus day on Sunday, which is the topic, the biggest hurdle and how to get over it. So in my 25 years of being a professional singer, coaching professional singers, what I've really come to notice is the biggest hurdle and how to sail past it. Okay. So that's going to be the last day, bonus day on Sunday. And obviously, if you can't make it, we will have the recordings, but be there live, especially for these two. So finish the workshop strong, you guys. Join us for these last two bonus days. Okay, let's get to work. So today, what I want to give you is what I call my secret weapon for finding your sound. And one of the things that I hear a lot from otherwise talented singers is that they don't understand why they keep getting passed over for things that they're going out for. Like, you're doing everything that you know how to do, but the gigs, the auditions, the opportunities that you want keep going to other singers. Do any of you feel that way? Hit me in the chat. Like, maybe you're going to auditions and you get in the callbacks, but you never land the role that you want. Or you're releasing records and maybe you get 1,000 plays on Spotify, but like it never gets traction. It never gets mainstream attention. You're going for auditions and competitions, and it just always seems these things that you want, you're looking at these other singers who are up on those big stages and you don't understand why that's not you, even though you feel like you're doing everything that you know how to do. Yeah, I see some of you absolutely in the chat. Jessica, yes, for sure. Casey, yes, and it almost broke you. Well, we're going to give you some support, okay? So one of the reasons that you guys are not standing out is often because you're not tapping into your unique emotional home and being vulnerable and letting that show in the form of your, what I call special sauce, the thing that is unique to you, that no matter how hard anybody else tries, they can't be you, right? And oftentimes the reason that you don't stand out above the competition and that it's really hard to break through is because you're not tapping into that which makes you unique, your voice unique, your energy unique, your individual performance, what you bring to that song unique. And so a lot of you just end up, what Nathaniel was talking about a couple of days ago, being really good parrots of either other people's sound and performances or what you think you have to sound like in order to be successful. And you may realize that, or you may not even realize that you're doing that. So today, I want to give you one of my favorite tools for accessing your most authentic emotional connection to yourself and to your song. A step-by-step process that really helps you to own a performance and make the performance your own and make the song your own. So first, I want you all to think of a song that you sing, that you know really well, that you have sung many times, that you have memorized, a song that's not too long, like no 7-minute Bohemian Rhapsodies, okay? So think of a song that you know really well, that you have memorized, that you've done many times, okay? And we're gonna have time for a couple guinea pigs today. And so if you'd like to be a guinea pig to help you find your own emotional home in a song and unleash your special sauce, use the raised hand function in the chat and let me know. All right, first hand I saw was Dawn. Dawn, you're up. Come on camera. Let's see. Dawn, you can turn on your camera and unmute. Oh, Don, I think we're having trouble. Are you having trouble unmuting? Okay, we'll come back to you. All right, who else do I see? Laureen. Laureen, come on camera and unmute.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Oh, that's a tough question to answer at the moment, but I am persevering. Let's say that.
Okay. Life is in session. Just meet yourself where you are, meet your body where it is, meet your energy where it is, and let's tap into some of your unique artistry, your special sauce. So, what song came to mind when I asked you?
An old standby of mine is O mio babbino caro from Gianni
Okay.
Schicchi by Puccini.
Okay. So let's do, I mean, it's pretty short. Are you warmed up? You feel like you want to go through? Can you do it?
I can do it. I must admit, I'm not warmed up. I'll just fill in everybody. We had a priest here giving my husband last rites. So, speaking of
Wow.
life is in session, end of life is in session in my house. And so, I think I want that to represent how dedicated I am to my singing and my gift because it has kind of sustained me through this whole illness and caregiving journey. But it's also been a really added stress too because I'm 61 years old and I'm facing the ageism and everything. But I don't want to make excuses for myself. So I,
And
uh,
celebrating you for continuing to show up even today, even in this moment, and being there. Yes, there are things going on, and yes, you still get to show up for your dreams, and you still get to show up for your passions and the things that fill you and make you, that give you
yes,
energy, right?
yes,
So you guys, we don't when we want to sing and we haven't had a lot of time to warm up, two best things that you can do is you can roll through some lip trills just through your range. Hang on, I got to turn my original sound on. And Laureen, if you're able to turn your original sound on, you want to do that?
I believe it is. My technique is I did what I was told to do as far as, so I think it is.
Okay, are you on a phone?
Yes,
Okay,
unfortunately, yes.
that's okay. You see the three dots at the bottom of the
I
Zoom?
got enable original sound and it is on.
Good. Well done. See? Okay. So when we don't have a lot of time to warm up and we want to be able to get into our body, get onto our breath support, the two best things you can do is first just play with some lip trills, not even in the context like of a, not even in the context of a full, you know what I'm saying, scale, but we just want to. Yep, so just motor on some lip trills. Yes. Are you muted or are you still on?
Yes, I'm such a
You're
big
on.
chicken. All right, I did mute myself.
Yeah, play
Um,
just motor through some lip trills for a second.
okay.
I don't care. Okay. Now let's do some sirening like we did yesterday, and you're gonna siren with some yayas. So you're gonna go ya 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 ya. You're just yaya around, okay?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Okay. So Laureen, I don't think that your original sound is on because we're not hearing you when you go up into your range. So go back to the three dots,
yeah. Three dots.
and you see where it says original sound.
Enable
Tap
original sound.
tap it.
Tap. Sorry.
That's okay.
Um, the actions. Three dots. Three dots. Ori- Disable original sound is on right now. So when I
Enable
tap
it.
it,
Enable
all
it.
right. So, but when I tapped it to disable it, so it was enabled. If you understand what I'm saying.
Okay, so do a lip chill again. Okay, now tap it one more time. Disable it. Is it okay? Now do a lip chill. Okay, so we learned something here, guys, which is on iPhone, you want to turn it off. On a desktop, you want to turn it on. I don't get this shit, guys. I don't know. It's we who knows? Technology, whatever. Now
Bless
we
you,
can
because
hear
I'm in
you.
the same boat. Okay, I
Now we
didn't
can
know
hear
the
you.
rules. All right,
Okay,
amen.
so
Thank you.
so now some yayas. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now here's the thing, guys. When you're doing this, don't just blaze through it. Connect to your anchor. Connect to the space between your ears and that sense of sail and your soft palate widening. Okay, just motor.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Okay, good. Let's do it one more time. Let's do it one more time. And before you do it again, I want you to feel that you have that space, that easy smile, and don't lose that easy smile. Watch me. Just your tongue, okay? Okay, now we're just gonna do technique for like 2 seconds because it's like I can't help myself. Sorry, guys. So take your finger and find your dumb smile and rest your finger gently here on your chin. Now, this is your chin, not your jaw. However, your jaw and your chin are connected. And so if you're doing this, you'll feel it. Okay? So this, no, don't, here. Yes. So it's like you guys, your jaw doesn't open down. It opens back. It's on a hinge. There you go. Now, I don't want you to hold your jaw in place. I want you to just let it be soft. And this is just to remind you when it wants to start to work, you'll feel it, okay? Engage your support and then, okay? Okay, so this is what's happening to Laureen. You guys can probably see it. She's in her habit, so she doesn't feel it. But this is what's happening, Laureen. And we go from this to this, and everything pushes down on your larynx, okay? So see if you can, as you siren, feel that sensation of this tilting up. Yes, do it again. Right. So you noticed it like halfway through. I could tell you noticed that you were kind of pulling down and then you like fixed it. So this is a habit that you need to practice in front of the mirror. Okay? Because right now it's so ingrained that you don't feel it. So watch yourself. So you start to notice it, but then don't use the mirror as a crutch though. So watch yourself, notice it, check in with your witness. What am I feeling? Okay? I'm going to turn away from the mirror and I'm going to do it again and stay there. Okay? So let's do a little Oh mio babino caro. Do you need a starting pitch or do you know?
I have one. All right, here we go, people. Oh mio babino caro, mi piace a comperar l'anello, sì, sì, ci voglio andare, e se l'amor ma per buttarmi in arno nella strada nel tormento vorrei morir. Babbo pietà, Babbo pietà, pietà.
Okay. So first off, what did that feel like to you?
I was just proud to get through it with everything that's going on today. As you can hear, breath support, or as an older person, just anatomically, our lungs can do less. So,
Laureen,
and
Laureen, unless you have COPD or emphysema, not true. Excuse.
seriously,
I'm just not gonna accept her BS because that keeps her playing small.
1 second.
Yes. Because you guys, I mean, unless there's actually something physiological going on, like emphysema, COPD, something like that. Okay. Okay.
Um, so I am a professional singer for very many years. I don't know if you've ever heard of a person named Karen Brunson. She's a voice professor at Northwestern in Evanston in Illinois, and she wrote this book. And the way she writes it is that like um, I don't remember exactly how it was said, but like with age, your muscles work less, and
Okay.
I could
I
send you the
understand what
chapter.
you're saying. I understand what you're saying. And having not read the book, I will read that. It sounds interesting to me. But it's just like anything else, you can train your body into what you want. So
Amen.
if somebody has like, been very non-mobile for years, then those muscles are not going to be
Hmm.
as,
Hmm.
but that doesn't mean that they can't become if they get on a treadmill or they get on a bike or
Oh,
they, you
I'm
know
an
what I'm saying?
avid yogi person and I do exercise and work out, but singing 36 years in a chorus, I can tell that my breath control, I have to breathe where I didn't have to breathe when I was younger.
Okay.
And that's just a fact of the
Well,
way I
no,
take it.
that is a fact. And I'm going to tell you what I see for what it's worth. which
Please.
is which is that it's not because you're older. It's because I see habits that are making you have to breathe where you wouldn't have. You've gotten into
Okay.
habits over the years.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so it's not like this done deal where it's my physiology. It's not.
Okay. Okay.
So even though I came into this guinea pig situation wanting to talk about making a song your own, we have plenty. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna like see if one of the others of you wants to do that, and I want to work with this on you here because like this is what we do here, guys. Like what she needs is this. Actually, I thought that your connection to what you were singing, Laureen, was very connected. That it was very, you were in the moment with the character being, I didn't feel like you were holding back from that.
Hmm.
So what she needs, guys, is to be able to create more stability. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's do that. Um, there's a technical thing, and then there's an energetic thing. As usual, it's always both. Okay. And the energetic thing and the technical thing are kind of creating this feedback loop that is sabotaging. Okay. The energetic thing is, and you'll notice this, I say you do this 60% of the time, which, I mean, if you're going to do a whole performance, that's a lot, and it'll feel like you're using up a lot more air because you are, because a lot of right now the energy of the sound is very out. It's like bleh. Okay, yeah.
Hmm.
And versus, so the idea that let's start again from the top. And before we work the technical thing, I want you to just start again and let's just do a couple of phrases. Actually, no, you know where I want you to start is um E se la masina like from that
Hmm.
section, okay? Um And I want you to experiment with the idea of implode the sound. Bring the sound to you. The way that I can tell that subconsciously your mind and body want to get the sound out is because your hands are telling me what you're doing. If you go back when you watch the recording, you're gonna, oh mio bambino, e se la it's all this. Okay? And you do remarkably well considering the fact that right now all the energy of your body is focused on that, but it's gonna feel way better and it's gonna sound even better when we redirect it and we reverse it this way. Because if you guys, if she thinks she has to, and again, it's not conscious, right? If she thinks she has to get the sound out, then her body is gonna follow that thought. And what's it gonna do? It's gonna push in and it's gonna do this, okay? And everything then is going to be like, ugh. And so now not only do we feel as the audience a little bit like, she's chasing us. She's chasing us a little bit. Also, you're leaking air. You're leaking air. Can I see a little more of you? Can you put the
Sorry.
device up a little bit? Do you have like a bookshelf or something you can put the device on?
Oh,
Or like a
Lord
mantle or
have
something?
mercy. A music stand would be helpful. Where is one? Oh my goodness. All
Because you
right.
guys, if
Ugh.
even though she's had a lot of training and she intellectually understands what she wants to be doing with her support, if that energetic thought and direction and subconscious, thing to get the sound like this, if that's going on, then what happens? You're thinking, your body follows your thinking. And so your body is going to go in that direction more than you want it to. Okay. So, can we try that one of those phrases in the middle there?
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to take your hand. Can you hear me okay?
Sorry,
Okay.
I think
Okay.
the earphones are kind of impeding me, so I
Okay.
took off my earphones and I am going to get my pitch and start again.
Okay.
Okay,
So, as
you
you're
can hear
doing
me
it this
okay?
yes, we can. As
Okay.
as you're doing it this time, I
What?
want you to, as you're doing it this time, I want you to play with the idea of implode the sound.
Got
Bring
it.
the sound to you, especially when you go up in pitch. Bring the high notes to you. So you're going to use your hand and you're going to literally do this with your hand. You're going to go, oh, mio bambino, like this. Okay?
Okay, got it.
No, I wasn't in the right key.
Oh, mio
Oh, wait. Time out. Time out. Time out.
bambino,
Lorraine, time out. Time
mi
out. Time
piace.
out. Time out. Time out. Do you guys see the direction that her hand is going? Lorraine, do you see the direction that your hand is going?
I
Your
was going
hand is
down.
your hand's going like this. Out,
Okay,
out,
okay, I'm
out.
coming in.
And I want you to go in. Your job is to drink in the sound, not to get the sound out of your body.
Okay,
Okay?
understood. Will you head right back? I'm sorry. Rolly will explain. Okay, all right,
Direct
I'm
it
sorry.
in. Do it again.
Okay. Oh, mio bambino caro, mi piace
No, 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 no. Time out, time out, time out, time out. Did you guys see it? Did you see it? She was coming in, and then that high note comes and she immediately tries to get it out. You guys see that?
guilty.
Listen, you guys, it's really hard to redirect because here's the thing. Pitch doesn't exist in physical space, but we do. We exist in physical space. And so for us, high is up here, low is down here, and gravity exists in physical space, which means that to go up because of gravity, we need to send it up. We need to push it up. We need to direct it up, or else we're not going to go up because up takes effort because of gravity. And so when we attach the idea of pitch to physical space, now our body wants to do that and we feel like we need to help it. But part of the reason that she feels like she needs to help it do this is because this is not quite supporting her to go in the other
I'm
direction.
missing the yin yang part of it, the balance of support and
Okay,
freedom.
good.
Yeah.
So, mi piace bello. So it's on a low. Okay. So I want you to
Okay.
siren on a low, and you're going to take your hand and you're going to go like this. You're going to go in and down on the low. You're going to go low.
Low.
Uh-huh. Now, we have to look at the inhale because you get better as you go, Lorraine, because you release more as you go,
Mhm.
but you don't start there because the inhale is closing you up. I don't know if you guys noticed her inhale, but when you get the replay, watch it back. I'm going to exaggerate, Lorraine, but it looks a little like this. It's very high and it's very closed. So again, this way. Just release your throat, release your belly, release your jaw, release your ribs, everything that you guys, the inhales a release. So just let a life breath come in. Uh-huh. Good.
Whoa!
Did you guys notice how much less doing and force and effort there was when she just sirened there? Did you feel that, Lorraine? Yeah, because now we got two things that are changing the direction of energy to be the direction that supports what she's doing in the siren rather than sabotages it. Number one, that she's opening and releasing, and the breath is dropping in rather than grabbing and pulling the breath up, which now puts her in tension that she's got before she's even sang a note. And now she's opened into this release on this breath, and now the sound comes in, the energy comes in, the pitch comes in. Okay, because she's not trying to reach for it, she's opened and she's receiving it. Okay, so now that idea of receiving air, that idea of receiving the pitch, and guys, those of you who are pop singers, country singers, jazz singers, this goes for you too. This is not specific coaching to her just because she's an opera singer. Okay, like I don't want you to look at this and like hold yourself out and be like, oh, well, this is for opera. No, it's not. Like what we teach you guys here, what I teach is technique. It is independent of genre. Healthy technique is healthy technique is healthy technique. It doesn't matter. Okay, so now we're gonna do mi piace bello, that phrase. But use your energy, Laureen, direct your energy the exact same way you did when you were sirening. That bello is oh, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Nope, but
Got it.
okay, so wait, what does that habit breath feel like? What does that feel like?
Trying too hard.
Yes, and where do you notice it in your body?
Tension everywhere.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you a question. If you had to say, what could you be willing to notice or appreciate or believe that would allow you to inhale without needing to try so hard?
I didn't get the beginning of the question, but I
What could
think
you
I
be
just need
willing
to
to?
relax. To
Okay,
relax
yes,
and be
we
more
know
natural.
we know that that's what you need to do. But you've known that and you know that intellectually. The reason you're not doing it is not because you don't know it. It's not because she doesn't know it. She knows that. We need to shift the thinking. There's a reason that subconscious old conditioned thinking Lorene thinks that she needs to work hard for that breath. And so we need to allow her to see, well, so the beginning of the question was, what could you notice or appreciate or be willing to believe that would allow you to relax on that breath?
I am pretty good at breathing since I've done it my whole life. And so instead of trying, I should just let it come naturally.
Okay, so the belief that she gets to condition is my body knows how to breathe. My body knows how to do this. And that goes for every single one of you in here. Your body knows how to breathe. You do not need to help it. Okay? It's all that old conditioned thinking that's taught her that she wasn't good enough. She wasn't going to get the note. It wasn't going to sound good. She's too old. Whatever. I need to impress. Blah, 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 blah. That makes her think she needs to do something there and work there. And then she does. And then she closes up. And now she's starting the phrase without that freedom. Changing thinking equals changing singing. So your job here now becomes conditioning the thought. So this is what I call the quarter that gets you the gumball. Okay? So the quarter here is my body knows how to do this. That gets you the gumball, the freedom of the breath. Okay? So when you're practicing, Noreen, if you're not practicing putting in that gumball, you're just going to continue to practice the habit. Okay? So let's play with the thought, the gumball. Or not the gumball, the quarter. Let's play with the quarter.
Okay.
Okay, so how would you do this if you trusted that your body knows how to breathe?
I would just do it more naturally and not try to tank up.
Okay, so don't tell me how you do it. Let's just do
Oh,
it.
all right.
Okay,
Me
okay, let it go, let it go, let it
piace.
go, let it go. Do it again, do it again. That was halfway between doing and letting. So I want you
Okay.
to blow all your air out. Just get rid of it. Air, and then just let your body receive the breath.
Mi piace bello.
Okay, okay,
Sorry.
okay. That's okay. That's okay. So the inhale is half the battle. Okay. So we got the inhale, but then what's coming after it, right? So do we remember the quarter that's getting us the freedom there is that feeling of implode in and down into your pelvic floor. So if this is me, I'm here. Mi piace bello. I'm calling it in. The reason that you're running out of air is because you're pushing it out. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So what might
Yep.
help you, hold on, one other thing. What might help you is one hand on your lower support so that you feel where you're putting it. So that this hand is drinking it in and it's putting it right down into the pelvic floor and into the lower abs, and you can feel that sensation of that consistent hiss. Can you hiss? Hiss into your palm. Uh-huh. Does this feel like it's closing up when you hiss?
That felt more open the second time.
Yeah, but it was also more flooded. Here's why. So you guys, her habit, as many of you, I'm sure, is to control the air from here by closing this up and creating a dam. So that when you opened that, it was a flood of air because it wasn't being managed down here. Okay.
Okay.
So hiss into your palm. Yes. That's open in your throat, but not flooded. Do you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now keep your hand, put your palm right back down where it was. And siren, implode the siren and use your body and your support the exact same way you just did on that hiss. Bello! Don't sing. Don't sing. Siren. Don't sing.
Oh,
Siren.
okay. Am I
Good.
supposed to be on the pitches or
No, that's
does it?
okay. That was a good
Okay.
siren.
Okay.
Now we're going to siren on the words. Bello! Into your palm. Better. Did you notice the support that was
Yes.
there for you? Okay.
Yes.
Now, that's the anchor. Now, what's getting in a little bit interfering with the sail is her jaw. Every time Laureen goes to change vowels or change words, her jaw is working way more than it needs to. You don't need your jaw for an L. La 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 la. Find an L. Smile. And now let your jaw hang. La 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 la.
La 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 la
Okay,
la.
so this is something that all of you need to look at, okay? And because a lot of you, I think, are probably doing this. She found her space between her ears. She found her smile. And then when I said release her jaw, this is what happened. Everything released. So it's a mini opposition here, guys. This is active. This is passive. La 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 la.
La 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 la.
Good. Now find your headwise. La 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 la. Engage that support. Good. So that when she does bello, she doesn't need her jaw. Bello. No, no. Do it again. Can you see yourself in the frame? Or do you have a mirror you can look
I
in?
can see. I can see.
Okay.
Okay.
Watch this, okay? You guys, when her jaw goes up to engage is exactly when her support flags a little bit and doesn't continue going here, okay? So find your gentle smile. Let your jaw hang. Bell. Okay, hold on. That was way better on the high note. But then guess what? As the pitch came down, what happened to her physiology? It all came down with it. So we got and now you got a shit ton of pressure pushing down on your larynx. The rest of the body goes, oh my gosh, how are we going to get the sound past this pressure and this block? So then it shoves more air up and now you're out of breath. So again, remember we talked about, we don't change the anchor in the sail just because we're changing pitch. So you're descending in pitch and you continue to be here. I'm still here as opposed to, okay? So these are the things that are going to make the most difference for you. And at the beginning, it feels like you're spinning a lot of plates because you guys check, your checklist is check the support first. Always check the support first. Make sure that you solidify that consistency in your support first. Then make sure that your sail is doing what it's doing and nothing is interfering, okay? Because most of the time, when we are able to see the habits, then because I know you've probably been doing this for years and you probably don't even feel it necessarily. I don't know. Let me ask you, like when I'm like, wait, do you feel what you're doing or do you just see it?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But like, what was interesting to me is when you got it right, it's on that bello, when you got that right just now, you sounded 20 years younger. And you had plenty of air. It's all these other habits and stuff that take us out of that. And somebody asked about the flooding. What flooding is when you're not in your support. And so this is not anchoring your diaphragm and it's coming either in or it's just not like consistent, that extra air gets pushed out of the sound. And so that's the flooding of air coming out, which is what makes you out of breath. And it's what makes the vibrato wild. And it's what makes the sound a little flat. The first time you did it, it was just like a hair flat 10 minutes ago. Okay. So what are the distinctions for you? What do you notice in your body?
The smile is so important. And my voice teacher also, she had me singing, like pulling my ears apart, because that whole back of the head thing I forget about, all the resonance there. So
That idea of feeling your ears widening away from each other.
yes,
And the other
yes.
day when I forget who I had who was doing this,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
because if you come down, you'll immediately feel your lips on your finger. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of little hacks to be able to kind of know what you're doing. But like, it's there, Laureen. Just like putting the pieces together, getting consistency, getting support, having eyes and ears on you so that you don't go back into the old habits when you don't realize it, you know? And if you guys haven't figured it out, I'm not going to let you. I will stop you because I don't want you to keep conditioning the old thing. You know what I mean? In that moment. Okay, so good. So good. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, you're so welcome. Okay, so to go, so I see Aiden I see a hand up. Aiden, you want to come on camera? Are you able to, Monsieur Aiden?
Yeah, just a second here.
Okay, hey. Okay.
Hey.
So let's switch gears back to the idea of tapping into your unique energy in the song, our theme for today. So what song do you have?
One of my go-tos is Lilac Wine. Jeff Buckley sang it like in the 90s.
Okay, cool. So how about this? In the interest of time, let's do like either a verse and a chorus or like a chorus and a bridge. Like, let's just pick a section. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can just maybe start from the beginning and then. And should
Yeah,
I
if you
have
wanna
headphones in? Is that okay? Or should I?
doesn't matter. You can see how it feels to you. Either way. So yeah, we can just do first verse, first chorus. You want to do that much?
Okay.
Okay.
I lost myself on a cool, damp night. Gave myself in the misty light. Hypnotized by a strange delight. Under a lilac tree. I made wine from the lilac tree. Put my heart in its recipe. Makes me see what I want to see. And be what I want to be. When I think more than I want to think, do things I never should do. I drink much more than I ought to drink, 'cause it brings me back you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So how did that feel to you?
I don't feel that warmed up, but it felt okay.
Okay. How did you feel like you were connected? Did you feel like you were in the spin of your mind? Did you feel like you were in the story? Did you feel like you were kind of in your inner critic? Where did you feel like you were?
Somewhere in between, like there's always a little bit in the back of my head about like listening to myself as I go, which is something I've really had to work on over the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But mostly just in the song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I felt you. I didn't feel like you were totally disconnected, but I also felt like there was a bit of a wall, just a bit of a wall, energetically, that sometimes you would come out of and sometimes you would retreat back into. And so I want to help you kind of tap into a little more of that sort of open energetic exchange as
Okay.
we do it again. Okay. So I want you to treat your song as though it were like a monologue put to music. Okay. So let me ask you, let's create some specificity, guys, because for you to connect to yourself, for you to connect to the story, like connection happens in the specific. So where are you? Where do you think this character is, or you, if it's you that's singing this, where are you when you're singing this song? What's the scenario? What's if this were like a movie in your mind?
Well, I always like to research like what the background of the song is and that sort of thing. And so this is songs about like the feelings of you go through when you're falling in love with someone. Um, so I try to like tap into that and like things in my past that might relate to the song.
Okay. And so I just think we need to make it more specific because it's not
Okay.
reading. It's not reading.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Okay. Like I can tell that you're to some degree connected and feeling it, but it's not reading out to us to the degree that I believe it can from you.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the first few lyrics of the song?
I lost myself on a cool damp night.
Give me a few. Give me a couple of the first, like first verse.
I lost myself on a cool damp night. Gave myself in that misty light. Was hypnotized by a strange delight under a lilac tree.
Okay. So first of all, who's he talking to? Who's he saying this to?
That's a good point. I got to think about that.
I can tell. I know in your performance. It you know what I mean? It's like you guys it's almost like read as though he was kind of reading the story, he wasn't being the story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
So let's come up with something that really connects you. And you guys, it doesn't have to be actually the truth of what was happening when the person wrote this song. Or if you're doing something from a musical or an opera, it doesn't actually have to be what's actually happening. It just needs to be something that connects you to the same emotional state that that person or that character was in. So let's see if we can create that. So who do you want to be talking to? Who are you talking to? Why are you saying this? Where are you? Like, let's create that.
I guess thinking deeper, it's kind of like I feel like the character is kind of talking to himself about what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of songs, there are a lot of songs where you could say that, but
Mm-hmm.
that makes it really hard to convey, because the way we talk to ourselves is not the way we actually talk to other people. And so then we end up just creating more of this sort of internal thing that I want you to come out of. Okay.
Okay, that makes total sense.
So tell me say the first lyrics, the first lines again.
I lost myself on a cool, damp night, gave myself in that misty light, was hypnotized by strange delight under a lilac tree.
Okay, so under what circumstances could he be wanting to tell this to somebody else? Who could he be talking to and why?
I mean, it could be to like a friend, like telling them what happened.
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say he's talking to a friend. Why? What just happened? If this were like the movie in your mind, what literally just happened in the moment right before that makes him say, I lost myself on a moonlit night, or whatever the actual lyric is. What could that be? Why does he say this? What just happened? What compels him to say this to his friend?
Because he just experienced this kind of mystical experience, so he wants to tell someone about it.
Okay, so maybe it just happened. Like he literally just did this, had this, met this person. And now what? He's walking home and he sees his friend, or he goes back to his apartment and his roommate is there. You guys understand, Aiden needs a reason to say this. You need a reason to say this. Why? So what could it be? Let's create something.
Well, if it was me and like this, like taking the song a little bit more literally, if something like that happened, like I would be like going to my friend and be like, hey, wow, this kind of mystical experience happened, like, and I want to tell you about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so let's create a little more stakes involved, which is, let's say that your friend is like, you're full of shit. Come on, dude. Come on. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be like, no, like this beautiful thing. I just experienced it. Because you guys, he needs not just a reason, but there need to be stakes involved so that we bring him out of him. Otherwise, Aiden's going to go in, which then we're not included as the audience. Okay. So how do you feel about this experience that you just had that you have to tell him about? How do you feel about what just happened?
I mean, I guess it feels like kind of like crazy and whoa kind of experience.
Okay.
And like trying to figure out, trying to figure it out, I guess, at the same time.
Okay, so if you had to put a word or a couple of words to the emotional state, the emotional home that this character is in. So he has this incredible experience. He comes home. What state is he in? What word, or just what encompasses that, if you have to think of an emotionally descriptive word?
I guess just kind of in awe is what comes to mind first.
Okay. He's totally in awe.
Mm-hmm.
And why must you communicate this now?
I don't know. When I'm in awe of something, like I've got to tell everybody. So
okay, so it's just like you can't keep it to yourself, or
you
else
can't
maybe
keep it yourself. Yeah.
it won't even be real. Like, I got to share this. I got to make sure, like this to like make it real. Okay. And so I want you to do it again. And can you stand this time as you do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
My desk does not adjust, so.
That's okay. You're fine. And I'm curious, like, have you lived or experienced a similar situation to this character where it might not necessarily have to do with love, but where you've been so in awe of something? You've either experienced something or you've done something that just creates the same awe. Is there something you can draw from in your own past?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's been times in my past like that, like in falling in love.
Okay. So before you open your mouth to say these words of the first verse of this song, I need you to see what just happened. Breathe into that awe. And then I need you to see your friend and breathe into that moment of, I can't contain this anymore. I have to tell you this.
Okay.
Okay? Give yourself, do you remember yesterday, the I get to take up time and space, right? Give yourself that gift to take up time and space to set that scene and set that state for yourself. And then go into the lyric.
Okay. I lost myself on a cool, damp night. I gave myself in that misty light. Was hypnotized by a strange delight. Oh, under a lilac tree. I made wine from the lilac tree. Put my heart in its recipe. Makes me see what I want to see. And be what I want to be.
Okay, good. What did that feel like to you?
It felt better, like, wasn't so, like, I guess less inside myself, but still there a little bit because it's a huge struggle for me. But
Uh-huh. Yeah. So two things that are going to help this, okay? First is I felt like well, first of all, did you guys notice how his tone was less airy? It was much more resonant and much more focused. And we didn't do an ounce of technique. We just connected him into the present moment of himself and the story. So number one, going to story, guys, 9 times out of 10 helps your technique because it takes you out of the spin of you, like what you said, am I doing it right? I don't know, and it puts you back in the moment of your body. So that's the first thing. But what I did notice is that when you were in the phrase, you were in that. But on the breaths, you came out of it. And that's, I think, why it felt a little in and out to you.
mm-hmm.
So you guys, you use the breaths to set the stage and the circumstance for what you're about to sing. So, like, I don't know this song, so I'll use O mio bambino because I know it, which is
Okay.
she's running away with her love. She's eloping, and she's telling her dad that she's going off to marry him. And so, O mio bambino caro means, oh, my beloved father. Okay. So if I'm in that situation and I'm, oh mio, you see, I was like totally not in it on the breath. And then all of a sudden I'm like, here I am in the verse. Using the breath to breathe into this, the emotional state, the circumstance. Like you just, that awe, breathing in to awe. But then when you finish the phrase, so here, tell me the first couple lyrics again.
I lost myself on a cool, damp night. Gave myself in that misty light.
Right. So right now it's like this. I lost myself in a cold damp night, and then it's this, and I bada 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 bada. Right. But that's one sentence. That's one sentence. So even though you breathe in there, you're still in the. And again, I don't know the song, so I don't know the melody. But I lost myself on a cold damp night. I this and that in a misty light. Like the breath is part of where you are. So when you guys are in that emotional state, when you're connecting to all that, and you did a great job of doing it in the phrases, but breathe into it. Allow that to fill you on the breath. Let's do one more time. Do it again.
Okay. I lost myself on a cool, damp night. Gave myself in that misty light. Was hypnotized by a strange delight. Under a lilac tree.
Yeah, what'd that feel like?
It felt better. Like it felt like I'm not dropping it in between every phrase.
Yeah.
And
I thought that the first phrase and then breath into the second phrase, I thought that one was the most connected. So part of it is seeing where and why we disconnect. Do we disconnect just because we're not really seeing the whole sentence here? We're just not looking at the lyrics that way? Or are we disconnecting because we feel like the breath is a little more vulnerable and we don't want to be kind of in that moment where we're not singing, but we're breathing and there's no music and
I,
we're not saying anything. And
I think that's what it is for me. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes,
for
yes.
sure.
So understanding that, but like immediately, especially if you go back and you watch the first two phrases, it you were taking me with you and you weren't dropping me at the end of each phrase. Okay? And now I'm not even thinking about Jeff Buckley. I'm thinking about Aiden. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
that's you being able to tap into your special sauce because now you're specific about what it means to you, for you, as the character, as the person singing this, who you're connected to. Any questions about that?
No, that makes total sense. Thank you so much. Like it's
You're
just
so
kind of a
welcome.
mind blowing
Yeah,
a little bit. So
yeah. So
yeah,
just
great.
play with that. And so, you guys, what we're going to do, thank you guys. Everybody give Aiden a hand for being a
Thank
great
you.
guinea pig. You're so welcome. So, what I'm going to give you for homework tonight is all of the things that I just took him through, that progression of questions, of connecting to his state, of who he's talking to, of what just happened, all this. I have a worksheet called Making a Song Your Own. It's about how do you connect to yourself in your songs so that you can bring more of yourself to your songs. And Ash just put it into the chat. It's like a worksheet to take yourself through for each of your songs to start to connect to it to your and to yourself at a deeper level with it. So you have all of those things that I was just asking him, and you can fill it out and you can do it for all of your songs. Okay, so now we have a special guest who literally was sitting right where you are just 2 months ago. We had not met yet. She had not been in my mix at all. And she had come to our February workshop hoping to get relief because she had been struggling with a lot of the same issues in her voice for years that were keeping her playing small and settling and feeling stuck and less confident. And literally in February, she was in this workshop just like you, typing in the chat, looking at the homework and doing the meditations and everything. And then she joined our intensive training program. And so I thought it would be really cool to let you guys get some nuggets of wisdom from somebody who is actively in the process, like right now. So she's 2 months in so far, and she's really had an incredible transformation already. I mean, like 180 in so many respects, just in these first 2 months with her voice and with how her energy is showing up. And so I just thought it would be amazing for you to hear from her because she's currently in the program doing the work, and she has a lot of ahas and a lot of nuggets to share with you. So please welcome Stacy Smith.
Hi.
Welcome. Hello. What is it like being on this side of things instead of in the peanut gallery?
It's cool because I'm still learning. So I'm watching you guys and I'm learning from all of you as Arden takes you through things. It's really cool.
So I would love if you could just start by sharing with everyone what was going on with your voice and your singing just a couple months ago and how you were feeling.
Sure. Yeah, so I sing in a quartet competitively. I do local theater, and we won some awards in our quartet, and I've gotten good roles. But I always had some beliefs about my voice. I felt like my voice wasn't flexible. I was never going to be able to do runs or fast grace notes or anything. My chest and head voice have always sounded like two different people, and so I always
Wait, hold
chose.
on. Anybody relate to that? Anybody relate to that? Where you feel like your chest voice is one thing and your head voice is like literally like two different sounds, two different people. Who relates to that? Yes.
Yeah. And so I would only choose roles where I could just stay all in my chest voice because that's, I like the character roles and stuff. And so it was limiting me. And I also have always felt like I was just, like you mentioned at the beginning, a parrot. I was really good at mimicking whoever the original artist was, but I didn't have my own sound. And it felt very defeating, like I had hit this wall. I'm an accomplished woman in other aspects of my life. Why can't I get this? And I'd worked with, decorated and acclaimed coaches. I thought, well, maybe I can't do it. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe my body isn't meant for it. So that's kind of where I was when I came upon the workshop.
And so curious now, 2 months in, a little, maybe 10 weeks in, a little bit.
9 weeks.
9 weeks in. 9 weeks in.
Mhm.
And can you share what some of your biggest wins have been thus far?
Yeah, I mean, for starters, for the first time in my whole life, I actually like the sound of my head voice, which I never thought I would. And I've been pretty successful, integrating all of my range into some of the songs that I've been working on, which is, something I've never had before. But probably the biggest game changer has been the mindset portion of this, which when I started, I was like, oh, okay, I'll give it a try. But I'm very focused on, tools and things, but I had no idea all the things that were holding me back, which if you had asked me, am I outside of singing, do those affect your life? Probably. But I would not have thought that they affected my singing, and how they were, roadblocks to me getting the best resonant sound, and feeling empowered, to work with my voice and experiment and all those things.
So I'm curious, what do you think, or what could you share have been the biggest ahas when it comes to the mindset that have actually then trickled back into the technique and allowed you to have this freedom in your head voice again and connecting the two voices again? What would those ahas be that you would share?
Um, One of the things definitely was, expecting the outcomes. I'm very, performance based and all of the things. And so I always had like in my mind what the outcomes should be and how quickly I should do that. And I'm not going to lie, this is still something I struggle with because I've struggled with it all my life. But even recently, there's been something that I'm like not feeling like I'm not doing it fast enough, and being able to go back to the meditations and understand that it will come. My body is made for this if I let it. And it's just
Wait, that's it. Did you guys hear those two things? Right? My body was made for this. That's basically what Laureen was. My body knows how to breathe, right? Same thing, right? And if I let it, which is this idea that I was working on with drinking it in, bringing it to you, letting things come instead of needing to force them out. So, Stacey, when you do that, what is the external result that you've noticed?
Oh, so much more ease. Somebody told me recently, your voice sounds so powerful, and it made me laugh because I know I'm not forcing. I'm, letting it happen. It has, it's so much more comfortable than pushing, which I used to do. Yet it sounds more powerful, more resonant, which is so nice.
And so one of the things that I would love to for you, because you're 8 weeks in this mix, I know you've trained other ways, but inside the program, what have been the most transformative aspects of training this way, or even just being inside our community? Like, what were have been so far the biggest game changers for you?
So the obvious thing, I had already been on the search when I came upon the workshop for somebody who was really going to be able to diagnose the mechanics of my voice and everything. And it was very present. I'm sure it is to all of you now that the Arden can do this through a tiny screen like that. She's great at it. But also, I kind of lost my train of thought.
We were talking about game changers.
Game changers.
Or the most transformative aspects for you.
Yes, thank you. But I muted myself. Being in a class with all these other people, you get to see people who have the same issues that you have, people who have different issues that you have, and you can watch and learn from them. And you don't necessarily have to be the one that Arden is working with at that time. I learned so much from the other students and things I hadn't even thought of before. I think that setup is just so helpful. You can learn from everybody's aha moments.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if when you got to this point in the workshop, before you were in the program back in the middle of February, if you had any hesitations and maybe you almost didn't pull the trigger, if what your hesitations were at the time.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, it's a big financial investment. Most people I know would say that, and you want to make sure that you get your money's worth out of something. So I was a little hesitant about that, and the time commitment is something that is often daunting for people. But I will tell you that you will absolutely get your money and time's worth out of this. If I were to go, I live near 2 universities, and if I were to go to one of them and want to get, vocal coaching from them, the cost would be much more than this, and I would not get the time and attention that I have gotten in the intensive, because you are doing it in a 16-week time. You can make that progress very quickly. It's just so much of a better way to reinforce all of these good techniques and mindsets in a short period of time. I could not recommend it enough, and I was hesitant, but I had great faith coming out of the workshop that this is exactly what I needed.
Well, I guess that begs the question. So what was it that made you take the leap?
The universe just made it all right for me, and that's not always the case, but in this case, my quartet was going to be on hiatus. There wasn't a show that I was going to be auditioning for, and it just seemed like the right time for me to finally invest in myself, in something that I'd been wanting to do for a really long time. And it came across my Facebook feed, and so all these things came together, and I thought, yes, this is really what I want to do. And I talked it over with some friends and family, because it is a big decision to make. I knew I was going to have to juggle some work things, but I knew that in the end, if I did not do it, I would definitely regret it, because everything was lining up, and I felt a lot of trust that this was going to get me to another level that nothing else had yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think that's the thing, because you had said I'd never really invested in myself like that before. And yesterday we were doing a training all about excuses, right? And so what were some of the excuses that you had to sort of be brave and go beyond your comfort zone to get past some of those excuses, so that you didn't just let another opportunity pass you by, but instead you decided, no, this is my time. I get to invest in myself, and I'm worth it. So what were those things for you? Those excuses?
Well, I remember our first conversation, I was worried about starting because I had some work travel, and you were like, absolutely not. No, we're not going to let you miss this opportunity and postpone it or never do it because of this one little moment in time that is going to be.
I think my exact words were, Stacy, you're not going to let 1 week of work travel completely derail eight or 16 weeks of your transformation, are you?
Yes, absolutely. And to your point, like, life happens. There's all sorts of stuff that's going on in your personal life, family, work, all those things. But those things are always going to be happening. And I just knew that this opportunity came to me for a reason now, and I needed to latch onto it, because all that stuff's still going to happen regardless, and I'm still going to have to deal with it, but at least I could be doing something for myself in the meantime.
Like, I really want you guys to hear this, okay? What she just said is so huge. Regardless of if it's about coming and working with us in the program, or if it's about, finally recording those songs that you want to record, or finally putting yourself out there for auditions, whatever it is, right? It's very easy for us to say, when I don't have work travel, when I get my tax return back, when after I go on my vacation, when and it's, in truth, guys, life is in session, and it is always going to be in session. There will always be taxes to be done, and the roof that needs to get fixed, and travel for your day job, and schedules that need to be arranged. That's not going away. And for a lot of singers who talk to me, those are the things that have always gotten away in the past. They're waiting for every circumstance and everything to be absolutely perfect. And my response to that is, and how's that working out for you? Are you singing the way that you want? Are you performing on the stages that you want? Are you able to trust your voice? Are you making a living doing what you love? And if the answer is no, then why do you want to keep doing it that way? I certainly would not want you to keep doing it that way, right? Which means that if we want to do something differently to get a different result, then we need to actually stop talking about it and act on it. And the question that I even think I asked you, Stacy, is, so when is now the right time to change?
Right. And the answer is now. I mean, it's the same thing. They always say it's never a good time to have kids. Well, because something always happens. The same thing with something like this. Um, Things aren't going to necessarily be better or worse at a different time, but life is still going to be happening, and you might as well be doing something for yourself and gaining these skills and these mindset changes in the meantime.
Right, because I think, like we were talking about yesterday, which is most people don't take action on because they're worried about being uncomfortable in certain consequences. Like Stacy, well, what if I have to travel for work, and she was gonna like not pull the trigger because she had 1 week of work travel, and I was like, so we pause for a week, or we don't pause and we see how it goes. And if you need to pause, you pause. Like, or we have singers in the program who Stacy knows who are in all over the world. Tordis is in Iceland, who you'll hear from tomorrow, and Antonia is in Switzerland, and and it's like, oh, and Suzette is in freaking New Zealand, you guys. She gets up at 2 in the morning to come to class. Like, Stacy's been in class with her, okay? Like, because they're clear that if they keep doing the same things that they've been doing, they're just going to keep getting the same old result. And so for them, coming to work with us felt really aligned. And so, is it uncomfortable to get up at 2 in the morning for a couple months, 1 or 2 times a week? It's not ideal. But is it also uncomfortable to be sitting down on your gifts, not have any way to fix it on your own, be beating yourself up and super mad at yourself because you don't know how to fix this for yourself? That's uncomfortable too. Is it uncomfortable to get resourceful, to figure out how you're going to invest in your training or the records you want to make or getting to auditions or whatever? Yeah, that might be a little uncomfortable. But you guys, the dream, the goal, the vision that you have for your life and your singing, it has to be bigger than the fear. If the fear is bigger than the dream, God bless you, you will stay where you are. Whether it's fear of figuring out the investment, whether it's fear of figuring out the time, whether it's fear of how your husband will react or your kids will react, those are all uncomfortable too. But if you're gonna be uncomfortable, you might as well be uncomfortable getting what you want. But how uncomfortable really is it, Stacy?
Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, everything falls into place as you go. My boss was cool with me, taking longer lunch hours, and I listened to class in the airport on the day I had to travel. Like, all these things do work out, and you really don't. That you shouldn't use them as excuses.
Yeah, it's just the fear. It's just the fear that makes these things seem so much bigger than they are. And then we don't move the needle. We don't take action. So we're going to tune in a couple months when Stacey's done with the program. I'll have her on again in one of our workshops. But is there anything else that you want to add?
This program is so well set up too. So if you are worried about time, I can guarantee you that Arden and her team have thought through everything to make it the most content in the shortest amount of time. So you will not be disappointed. I can't stop talking about it. I'm sure my friends and family are really annoyed because I can't stop talking about all of my wins and triumphs and how great this is. So you will experience the same thing. I am sure of it.
Thank you so much, Stacy. Well,
Thank you.
let's give Stacy a warm thank you for sharing her experience. The things that have made the biggest difference for her is just starting before she thinks she's ready, just doing, just letting things unfold. She made a decision, and like she said, then the universe showed up. And that's what I've seen in my own life and in all the singers who come work with us, is that the decision to change comes first, and then everything just falls into place because you've decided that this is where your energy is going. So thank you so much, Stacy. Appreciate it so much. Thank you all so much for being here today. So if you were listening to Stacy and thinking, okay, that's really what I want to be able for my voice to feel like the same voice from chest to head and all the way down. I want to be able to trust my voice. I want to be able to trust my energy and be able to step into more confidence. And you want to work with us in the intensive to achieve that, then your next step is to book a discovery call with me. And we will see if it's the right fit for you. So Ash is going to put the link to get on a call with me today in the chat for you. I've got time over the next couple days. Pick a time that works for you. We will get in there. I'll answer your questions and we will come to a decision together if this is the right fit for where you're at, for your issues, for what you want to achieve for your voice and for your singing. And if it is, then we'll talk about next steps, whether it's creative financing, whether it's timing, whatever it is. And if I think there's something better for you, then I will point you in a different direction. But this intensive, this is our flagship 4-month training program that I developed to train singers in this way that's totally 360, totally holistic. It's technique, it's artistry, it's mindset. And we do that with technique accelerator trainings so that you get full command of your technique, so that there's no gaps in the technical understanding for the most consistent, reliable sound in the most healthy way. We do it through mind-body integration modules to really deep dive into your unique patterns, like your unique patterns. You notice how I didn't coach anybody in the same way today. So we're deep diving into your unique patterns of thinking, of how you use your body, and shift how this is affecting what happens in your body and in your energy when you sing. We do it through individual weekly coaching. So it's individual coaching in the context of a group. This is one-on-one coaching, but it's one-on-one coaching in the context of a group so that you get more ahas, more breakthroughs, because every class, you're not just getting up to sing, you're getting breakthroughs from everybody else who got up to sing too, to help you really ensure that you're embodying your new skill set, your new mindset, your artistry in the most effective way. We do it through weekly group mindset calls, which are topic focused coaching, focused on supporting the mindset necessary for the growth that you want in your voice and in your journey. We do it through one-on-one accountability mentoring to help you break the boundaries that have previously stopped you so that you can actualize the results that you want. We do it through our community and safe space, which you guys have experienced what that's like here for singers to really go beyond their comfort zone in a compassionate way, in a gentle way, in a supportive community. I tell everybody who comes in, I will gently and lovingly kick your ass and light a firecracker under you, because I am not going to let you fail at everything that you tell me that you want. So we have that accountability mentoring. And it's an artistic incubator where you get to be among like-minded artists and singers where you can really learn and take action and grow and make mistakes and get up again and achieve your goals. So this intensive program is for you if, despite your best efforts, you're still not where you want to be with your singing. You're really dying to sing in a way that's much more reliable, consistent, sustainable, powerful, healthy, where your body's working for you, not against you, and getting the opportunities that you really want, where maybe you're someone who's invested in a lot of vocal training in the past, other kinds of training that has not gotten you the results or the opportunities that you really want. You really dream of getting on bigger stages, getting consistently better results from your auditions, your performances, your recordings. You know, no more like putting in all this time and effort and money and not seeing the kinds of outcomes that you want in your singing career. And if you really, just like Stacey was saying, desire to sing consistently throughout your range, without tension, without strain, without vocal fatigue, in a way that not only sounds good, but feels good too, and it's sustainable long term, because you want to find your sound, you want to tap into your unique voice, you want to let yourself be seen and allow yourself to share that's what is within you that nobody else has, your special sauce that sets you apart from everybody else. And more than anything, you want to know that anytime you open your mouth, you can trust your technique, you can trust your body to make the best sound possible, no matter what. You want to be bulletproof. If that's what you want, then I really invite you to come join us for the intensive program. Get on a call with me if you have extra questions. The tuition for the program is usually $9,000, but a reminder that we have a huge $2,000 discount that's available to everyone who took part in this workshop here. If you enroll by Sunday night, it's only $7,000 when you make that decision to enroll in the workshop by Sunday. I will also say that by Sunday, if you haven't enrolled, but if you have a call booked with me and then you decide to enroll, I will extend that discount to you. And the first 3 singers who opt in for our pay in full option get a little bonus, get a little private one-on-one hour session with me that you can use anytime in your program. And look, you guys, I get it, okay? Being an artist is not always easy. And I get that investing $7K in your training might be the biggest investment that some of you have ever made in yourself. And for others, you already spend way more than that on eating out and vacations and shopping over the course of the year. So you feel like you're doing well. You feel like you're thriving when really you're not succeeding at your passion and your potential the way you want to be. Because what we're talking about here, guys, is getting you off the sidelines, teaching you how to trust your voice, audition, perform, record with power, showing you how to own your voice and own the stage to get those equity jobs, those AGMA gigs, legit management, hundreds of thousands of plays for the songs you release, booking representation, opening tour spots, representation for film and TV licensing. I mean, these are the things, guys, that put you on big stages. Those of you who do worship, instead of it being 25 people in a small church, like what Amy was talking about, performing and bringing God to people through her voice, through thousands of people at this worship conference, right? These are the things that put you on big stages. These are the things that will get you out of your muggle jobs, your day jobs, if that's what you want. These are the things that pay an average of $7,000 a month to start. But it's more than that, guys, because it's a life doing what you love at a high level. And it's a whole lot better than watching your dream fade into the rearview mirror more and more every day because your voice is not at the level it needs to be to land those opportunities that you really want and get you there. So we're going to show you how to do that. And guys, this is way less expensive to speak to what Stacey was talking about than a semester at Berkeley School of Music or Juilliard or USC or NYU. That's 4 years of your time. It's $30,000 a semester. It's $120K for the degree, and they don't teach this. Trust me, I have 2 very fancy conservatory degrees in vocal performance. I have an undergrad degree, I have a master's degree, and they do not teach this. And I don't know about you, but if I'm gonna spend my hard-earned money, I'm gonna invest in the things that are gonna make the biggest difference in the shortest period of time, that get me the best results in the shortest amount of time, because in the long run, that saves me money. And let me tell you guys, I have done it the other way. I have been penny wise and pound foolish. In my early recording career, I tell this story all the time. The producer that I really wanted to work with was 10K. And this was 20 years ago. This was like in 2005. It was 10K. And I knew he was it. I did. Everything about his work was so aligned. But I was in scarcity mindset. And I went with the more reasonable option, a producer who would do the project, the whole project, for half. It was 5K. And, you know, we did it, and it just missed the mark, just missed it. And after 6 months and like so many versions of the songs, it was like just not working. And 8 months later, I went and then I hired my first choice at 10K. Only now I'd spent 15K total, way more than if I had just gotten resourceful to figure it out, to work with the best from the very start, instead of being run by my scarcity and by my fear. And P.S., I sold 10,000 records working with that great producer. And so, look, I mean, let's think about it, right? If you continue to spend money on traditional voice lessons, it feels like less money because your brain is like, oh, it's $300 a lesson. Well, at least in LA, if you were to work with an expert, or in New York, or it's going to be about $300 to $400 for an hour lesson. Okay, so it feels like less money, but think about it. Like, how long have some of you been with your teachers? 2 years? 3 years? You've spent 9K already, but you still don't have the result that you want. And that's costing you way more than the 7K investment in a program like this. Because now you've lost 2 years. And that loss of time is way more expensive. How many opportunities did you miss or not put yourself out there for, or you couldn't land because you weren't singing in the way that could get you there in the last 2 years? And how much money have you lost because the gigs and the shows and the opportunities were going to singers who were able to land them and go after them? And guys, I know it can be scary to invest and commit to a new way of training because you're thinking, will it work for me? And here's what I can tell you guys. I don't know if it'll work for you because I don't know you. Only you know you. But when you show up, playful out, give 110%, are coachable, committed, resourceful, then yeah, it will work for you too. Because I know this, I know the system works because I see it every single day with the singers who are working it, right? And so when you show up that way, it'll work for you too, but only you know you. Only you know if you're going to show up that way. But when you do, then you get the transformation. Because think of the consequences, guys, of not changing things up. Get real. I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you. It's more birthdays celebrated with that awful hesitation that yet another year has passed doing that crappy day job instead of singing for a living. And all that major self-doubt of going through yet another audition season or in releasing yet another EP to really just lackluster, disappointing results. And that sinking feeling, that dread of being asked, how's the music going? Like at a birthday party or at a dinner party. Hey, how's the music going? It's Thanksgiving dinner with your family. And that like immediate sinking feeling of failure when there's nothing impressive on the horizon that you can speak to. And then that heartache of having to watch other singers at the same level get the gigs and wondering, will it ever be my turn? As you watch the clock tick, tick, another week, another month, another year, another 5 years. All those New Year's resolutions vowing, this year will be different. This will be different. I'm going to show up this year. I'm going to do different. I'm going to get my break this year. And I know what you guys are thinking. I know you're thinking, Arden, if I had the investment, I would totally do it, but you can't get blood from a stone. And I appreciate you. I really do. And there's always a way for the committed. Always. If you are sick and tired of struggling, get resourceful. Joseph did it. Amy did it. Remember she talked yesterday about getting PayPal loan, 3 different credit cards, whatever. And now she's made all that back and then some. She's working full time. She makes more now singing than she did at her corporate HR job. Stacy did it. She had to get resourceful with her time, around her job, around her boss. Get resourceful, guys. There's always a way for the committed. You could do a GoFundMe page. You could see what you could sell on Craigslist or eBay, old appliances, old jewelry, things that gifts people gave you that you don't want in your attic, in your closet. Look in your garage. What do you have that you can sell on Craigslist or eBay? You could go and do what I said yesterday, the 0% interest credit card options. I'm putting that in the chat again. Like you guys, there is no reason that if this feels aligned for you, that you cannot do it. There's also personal loans. SoFi does personal loans for any reason. Literally, it could be for plastic surgery. It could be for the intensive program. It doesn't matter. Personal loans for any reason to people who apply if you qualify. Putting that in the chat. This is, you guys, this is resourceful. Go get investors. What do I mean by that? Who in your life says, I believe in you. I will invest in you. Could be family, could be friends, could be colleagues, could be, I have a singer right now who's in the program, her boss, because she performs with a big band and they do a ton of corporate stuff. And the head of it is funding her tuition for the program because he knows that with all the issues that he had, he's about to lose a great singer if she can't figure these problems out. So who would invest in you and maybe gift you or loan you some or part or all of the tuition to be able to change your life? And we have flexible payment options and financing options too. So we have our 4-month payment option where it's $18.95 a month. You can do a pay in full, which saves $600, so that would be $7K pay in full. You can do PayPal financing, which is like as low as $350 a month, depending on the rate and the term that you qualify for. So my invitation to you is don't just look at what you have and be like, I can't do it. Resourcefulness is not about what you currently have. It's about what am I willing to do to get what I want, okay? So your next step is to go to this link and look at the information all about the intensive, if it's something that feels aligned for you, to be able to, sorry, I'm putting it in the chat right here. Oh, Ashley's got it right there, okay? So that's where all the information is. If you have additional questions, you can book a call with me. See, if you're on the fence, get those lingering questions answered. We'll decide together if this is the best plan for you to reach your specific singing goals. And as you know, I'm offering a huge scholarship. So let's do that right now. I know I've kept you guys way long. Okay, every single one of you who sent me your selfie video, you are all so deserving. Like every single one of you who applied. And I want you to know that I watched every video and I see you. And I literally couldn't decide. And I honestly, I didn't want to decide. So I'm not going to decide. I've put all your names in the hat, like dozens of papers. These all have your names on them, okay? I put all your names in a hat, and I'm literally just going to pick a name because every single one of you was so deserving that we're just going to give it up to the universe, okay? So here we go. Closing my eyes. Okay. Let's see who it is. Diane Devati. Diane, are you here? Are you still here? Let's see. Where is Diane? Come on mute. I want to see. Where is Diane? Oh my God. Diane. Unmute.
You're gonna
There
make
you
me
are.
cry. I can't even believe this. Oh my
Look at that.
God.
Okay. So Ash, make sure that you get Diane's email in the chat. Diane, I'll be reaching out to you to have an onboarding call.
I
Congratulations.
can't talk right now because my hands are shaking. There's
I'm
no
so
way.
excited to work with you. Now, for all of you who applied, your next step is to get on my calendar for a call. Okay? I want to speak to each one of you. And any of you also who maybe didn't apply for the scholarship because maybe you weren't here every single day and you didn't qualify or whatever, I want to speak to any of you who know the intensive training program is speaking to you. You know the program is speaking to you. You know working with us is speaking to you. You know being in this community is where you need to be to thrive. But maybe you have some questions, whether it's on alternative ways to parse out the tuition, whether it's timing questions about make sure the program is right for you, whatever it is. Your next step is to get on my calendar to book a discovery call. And Ash is going to put the link again one more time into the chat so that we can talk. And together we'll get clarity on if the program is ready for you, right for you, get clarity on investment, all of that, and what your best path forward is, okay? So, guys, we've got 2 bonus days for the workshop this weekend. Tomorrow, is Ask Me Anything Day. So any questions that you've jotted down that you still don't have clarity on, go into the Facebook group later today, and you'll see a post. And that's where you're going to put your questions. Also, you can just come on live and you can ask your questions too. But there's a thread posted in the Facebook group where you can submit questions. So you can drop any questions into that post, whether it's technical questions, questions about the training program, or come on live to the session, ask your questions as well, and we'll have time to answer the questions, time to coach on them if you're there live in the session. The Making a Song Your Own worksheet will be there for you to download as your homework. And the link will be also for that homework posted in the Facebook group. Play with it. Get into the fun of creating story and the movie in your mind and all the specificity that I was doing with Aiden, okay? Reminder, 2 days left on the intensive enrollment bonuses, meaning $2,000 off the normal tuition to everyone from this group who enrolls by Sunday night. Tuition is only $7K. And for the first 2 singers who choose the pay in full option, 2 full hours of one-on-one private coaching with me that you can use anytime during your intensive program for the first 3 people who do the pay in full. Okay, guys, sending so much love, honoring all of you for how you've shown up, how you've continued to show up, and I hope to see you tomorrow for the Ask Me Anything Q&A. Okay, guys, have a great weekend. See you tomorrow.